We don't just build wealth, we build legacy. Welcome to the Retirement Income for Life show with Doug Vincent. For over 30 years, Doug has helped families right here in the DC area turn hard work into lasting income, helping you protect what you've earned, provide for your family, and retire on your terms. This is where preparation meets opportunity. This is the Retirement Income for Life show. Here's Doug Vincent.
Retirement without surprises. On today's show, we will show you how to build a plan that can handle whatever life throws your way. Welcome to the show. My name is Doug Vincent. We are excited to be with you once again right here in the DMV area. All our local listeners in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, thank you for all of your calls and emails and responses to the show and also our podcast, as well as our YouTube channel. You can always reach us here locally at 301-242-3950 and always on our website, Retirement Income, the number 4, LIFE.com. Retirement Income, the number 4, LIFE.com. So no matter where you are today on your retirement journey, the best time to identify those gaps in your plan is before problems arise. Okay, we want to get ahead of those problems. And so, hey, reach out to us. Our 100% free complimentary consultations are right here in my Greenbelt office here in Greenbelt, Maryland, or always on Zoom, no matter where you are around the country. If you want to jump on Zoom with us, we're here for you as well. So let me give you a quick overview. We're talking about retirement readiness. So today we want to dig into and remind you that investment returns are not always guaranteed. Okay, investment returns are not guaranteed. We're going to explain the impact of lower than expected investment returns when you get to retirement and some things that you can do about it. Also, you got to ask yourself, do you really have a retirement plan? Okay, is it documented? Have you laid it out? And this is one of the reasons why, doing it yourself just doesn't work. You want to work with a financial professional. It's going to yield you better results than trying to do it on your own. Ask yourself that question. Do you have a real retirement plan? Also, we'll discuss today, are you really retirement ready? Okay. Do you really need to stop working? And have you answered the questions why someone would be able to fully retire in today's market, fully retire today when people are living longer? Okay. And when we do our complimentary consultations, it's a number of questions that I ask people to make sure that they've answered these questions before they walk out of that door, before you start not getting that full-time salary anymore. Do you really have a retirement plan that could last you if you were, retired for 2-3 decades? Okay, we want to make sure that retirement plan is intact. And then finally, we'll wrap up today talking about retirement doesn't always happen on your schedule. Okay, sometimes you get surprised into early retirement for whatever reason, that might be, life happens, and we don't want you to have any regrets if for some reason you have to retire early and it was unexpected. All right. Some financial wisdom. Our quote of the week here comes from Mr. Courtney West, and it says, have a plan B and maybe even plan C. Okay, that means you're planning, right? Because unexpected changes are most difficult to handle when we don't have a backup. So let me say that again. Have a plan B, maybe even a plan C, because unexpected changes are more difficult to handle when you don't have a backup plan. So we're talking about retirement readiness, making sure you have a plan, making sure you are wisely going into retirement for you guys right here in the DMV area. I pray that, you have this thought through, and before you retire, that you have met with some financial professionals, you've talked it through to make sure that this retirement plan is going to last. So What if your investment returns, the rates of return you're getting on your money didn't deliver the way that you expected? What if you got lower than expected returns that didn't keep up with cost of living, didn't keep up with inflation? For years, we've heard that if you save consistently and you invest wisely, the market's going to do all the heavy lifting. Okay. But what happens if your portfolio simply doesn't earn the returns you were counting on, right? That's a question many retirees and pre-retirees are asking after years of this market's volatility, changing interest rates, all this economic uncertainty. Today, let's talk about that. If you had lower than expected investment returns, what would that mean? And more importantly, what can you do about it? All right, what can you do about it? And so, your retirement plan, it isn't broken. I'm sure it's not broken. It might just need some adjustments. You might need to do some adjusting along the way as you prepare for this. And don't make that big mistake, assuming that your retirement plan is a one and done exercise. No, this is something that needs to continually be revisited. Continually, your life is changing and evolving over time. If the market produces lower than historical averages and, you don't want to have to take retirement off the table because you didn't make the adjustments along the way, but you just emotionally went into the age that you wanted to retire. Retirement, as you've heard me say, is more about income than it is when you reaching a certain age. Okay, so markets have always gone through periods of strong performance, followed by stretches of disappointment. Ups and downs in the market, the volatility is what you should expect. So rather than trying to predict exactly what returns will be, it's often more productive to build a flexible plan, a plan that has flexibility in it, right? So that your retirement income strategies are laid out from the beginning. Okay, this is something you want to lay out related to income, where income's coming from, where you can turn on income at a later date for cost of living and inflation. But this has to be put in place. You have to make the adjustments before you walk out of that door. All right. So let's think about this in relationship to the first few years of your retirement and what's going to matter the most, that first year, that second year in retirement. Okay. And what we see and what I've seen over these last 30 years is one of the biggest risks. It's not necessarily those lower returns over your entire retirement. Okay. It's earning poor returns right after you retire. Okay. You just stepped into this thing and now you're suffering with what we call, as financial advisors, what we call sequence of returns risk. Okay. The day you begin retirement, the year you're in retirement, you get hit with poor returns and you are subject to the risk that we call sequence of returns. So let me define that. If you're withdrawing money while your investments are declining, think about this for a second. You're selling assets, at depressed prices. Okay, these prices are lower. So leaving less money invested when the market eventually recovers. So when the market comes back, you've got less money because you've taken money out while the principal was going down. So research from Morningstar shows that retirees who experience weak returns during their first several years of retirement are significantly more likely to deplete their portfolios than those who enjoy those stronger early on rates of return that are stronger in the beginning, right? This is why it's so important that you're protecting those early retirement years. This can be just as important as chasing those higher returns, making sure you're not losing a lot of money while you're taking money out. And you just don't want to be subject to that sequence of returns risk. It's just killing a lot of portfolios, right? So focus on the decisions, okay, that you can control. None of us can control what the stock market is going to do from day to day or month to month or year to year. Okay. What we can control is how much we spend. Number one, how much risk we're taking, our tax strategies, and whether our investments match our overall actual retirement goals instead of just simply trying to maximize returns. this plan, you got to connect all the dots, the tax dots, the investment risk dots, you know, all the pieces related to what you're going to spend on fixed expenses, variable expenses. All of this has to be connected to your overall plan. This is why I say to people all the time, you don't have a plan yet. You haven't laid this out. You're trying to do this yourself, and emotionally, you just aren't ready. So we need to make these adjustments. Okay, so having several years worth of planned withdrawals in safe investments, right? When you first retire, so you're not subject to dealing with the sequence of returns risk downturn. Okay, one of the things that we always preach and recommend is that you have breathing room, okay, during market downturns. You've got to have money in places that you can access so that the market has time to recover and you still can pay your bills, live your retirement lifestyle, but you've got to have this money in places that you can access it without touching the money that's in the market. Okay, so this is going to allow the long-term investments, you know, it gives them more time to recover. You know, it's not forcing you into a place where you got to sell while the market is down. And it's just another example of why retirement income planning is different from simply accumulating wealth. I say this all the time, just about every week. Accumulation strategies are not the same as income distribution strategies. You must change the strategies as you now prepare to retire. So guaranteed income can reduce pressure, you know, on that portfolio. Okay. This is another way to prepare for those lower returns or maybe even negative returns, right? Social Security, pensions, and in some cases, properly structured annuities can provide you with guaranteed income that will continue regardless of what the market is doing. You need legs to that stool that are paying you guaranteed income so you can ride out the market downturns. You don't have to be subject to sequence of returns risk. And when your essential monthly expenses are covered, you know, by depending upon these income sources that are guaranteed, your investment portfolio doesn't have to work quite as hard, right? So this can reduce that stress that you would be going through. And during these volatile markets, it makes it easier to stick to the long-term investment strategy instead of now making emotional decisions. Okay. What's the bottom line on this subject here? All right, let's dig in on the bottom line. Retirement success, listen very carefully, isn't determined by hitting some magical rate of return every single year. Okay, it's built on having a flexible plan that can adapt when the market's inevitable surprises show up. Okay, lower returns may require adjustments. Okay, you just got to make the adjustments when the returns are low. Okay, but they don't automatically mean retirement is out of reach for you. Okay, it's just some extra planning that needs to be done. The key is having the written income plan, the written income strategies, which consider market risks, considers taxes, considers inflation, considers where your guaranteed income sources are going to come from. What are your spending habits? You know, what is your fixed expenses, your variable expenses? It's not simply hoping that the market is going to bail you out, because in some of these market downturns, you're not going to be in a position to where, you know, those returns are going to bail you out. Okay, so if you're retiring this year, if you're retiring in 1 year, if you're retiring in 3 years or 5 years, okay, or maybe you've even recently retired, okay, this is a great time to do the stress test. Okay, do a 100% complimentary consultation with us where we do a stress test retirement plan. We walk through what you're currently doing, what you want to do. You know, we'd be happy to evaluate your current income strategies. You know, can your plan withstand a period of lower market returns? You know, ask yourself that question. We walk through that with you. We identify opportunities that may strengthen your plan. So look, give us a call, 301-242-3950. If we can help you with that, you know, go to our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. All you have to do is request a 100% free consultation right here in Greenbelt, Maryland, or as I've always said, no matter where you are, we can do this on Zoom. Okay, so next question. Do you have a real plan for retirement? Okay. Do you have a partial plan? Have you just, hey, I know the end of the year is coming and I just turned 65. That's not a full plan. Okay. That's not a real plan. Okay. You have to make sure that you've gone above and beyond just picking the age that you want to retire or thinking you've addressed your income needs, but you really haven't. I don't know how many times I ask people when I'm doing workshops for a show of hands of people that retired after 30, 40, 35 years, and within 18 months, they're back to work. Happens all the time. Hands are always being raised when I ask that question. And it's simply because people are not addressing where their current income's going to come from. You're no longer getting that 200,000, 150, or whatever your salary was. Now, what if that's cut in half? Or what if it's only a fourth from your pension and you need your Social Security? You need money from your 401k. You've got to put that on paper where that guaranteed money's coming from, where the variable money's coming from. You got to project, the future income needs that you're going to have. How is inflation involved with this? Have you considered the taxes? How about those things that you can't even control that might show up from out of the blue? Do you have enough money in an emergency fund just in case, these unexpected non-controllables, show up, just out of nowhere, right? What is your roadmap for achieving all the financial planning goals that are necessary for someone that's going to retire and then possibly be in that retirement for 2 or 3 decades, right? Have you thought about your legacy planning? You got grandchildren now, and maybe you want to fund their education, right? Maybe, hey, you know what? No kids. I want to travel the world, or hey, I want my kids and my grandkids with me. What does my legacy planning, look like? Okay. As a part of our complimentary consultations and the retirement planning that we do, one of the main things we do, and we've found out that Americans who have financial plans, they have healthier money habits. Americans who don't try to do it on their own, okay, they have less stress. Okay. And, we want to give you some statistics today about those that plan versus those that don't plan. Okay. So these are some stats. You can look these up related to financial money habits. Charles Schwab did this a while back. And so it basically says those people that work with financial professionals, 65% of them have an emergency fund compared to 33% who try to do it on their own. All right. 71% of people that work with advisors are aware of the fees and cost for their investments that they have versus 45% for those who are doing it on their own. Okay, here's a key one for those that are working with advisors. 87% of retirees, pre-retirees who work with an advisor regularly rebalance their portfolio compared to 63% 63% who don't have an advisor that they're working with. Okay, you can see the pattern is those that don't try to do it alone have healthier money habits. Their stress levels are lower, and 47%, listen to this, 47% never carry a credit card balance. Okay, are you in credit card debt right now? Well, 29% of you who don't have advisors, right, non-planners, are carrying those credit card debts, not making payments on time, or have just too much debt that is piling up. So 301-242-3950. Let us know how we can help. Our website, retirementincomeforlife.com. Set up that free consultation. Let's walk through these things that you want to take off of the list before you retire. We provide this complimentary. We will make sure all your questions are answered and that you are moving in the direction to have that stress-free and healthy money habit retirement. The 6 clear benefits of a comprehensive financial plan. Okay, I want to give you 6 clear benefits of a comprehensive financial plan. All right, number 1, you get the full financial picture. Okay, many people are surprised by how seeing everything they own and owe in one place changes their whole perspective. Okay, gives you a 360-degree view, allows you to understand your financial standing better and prioritize goals like debt repayment, saving, and investing. So get the full financial picture. Okay. Number 2, build confidence in those financial decisions. Okay. You want to be confident in these decisions. And a 2021 Charles Schwab survey found that 65% of people with a plan feel financially confident compared to 40% without one. Okay, I'm sure you want to be confident going into retirement. Let's get that plan put down on paper. Number 3, it gives you the permission to enjoy spending. Okay, if you got a plan, you don't have to wing it. You don't have your money telling you what to do. You know that your retirement goals are achievable, and you can rely on your spending gut. There's no spending guilt there, right? You're able to have peace and knowing that you can afford the travel that you want to do. You want to give gifts to family, your spending, your hobbies. None of this has to be in jeopardy. And you can feel, secure that as you are going through your retirement life, you are definitely enjoying the spending because you've mapped out the plan of action of the way you're going to spend. All right. Number 4. And here's a key one for you. When markets are going through volatility, you are at complete peace. You got a plan, you know how to go at this situation. And so when market fluctuations, can normally cause panic, you're at peace, right? A financial plan that accounts for volatility keeps you focused on long-term goals. It reduces the urge to make rash decisions. Okay. You got it on paper. You know the volatility is going to come. You've already talked it through with your advisor. And so you are moving forward without panicking. All right. Number 5, you'll have annual reality checks. Okay. Annually, you should be reviewing the plan that you put in place. If you put a plan in place in 2025, you need a financial audit. You need a review for 2026. Each and every year, you should be doing that reality check on your retirement planning. Life is changing every 30, 60, 90 days, so reviewing your financial plan every year offers that reality check, right? Life is going to change, career shifts, grandchildren, right? Moving different places, saving adjustments, right? Spending, different things need the reality checks on a consistent basis. So you got to have that annual reality check. And then finally, avoid the major financial surprises. Okay. Number 6, avoid the major financial surprises. Financial plans can mitigate surprises by modeling what if scenarios from unexpected medical expenses, inflation impacts, the preparation this is going to offer you during this preparation is going to offer you a safety net for these unseen challenges. Okay. And so it is very important, okay, that as you are moving forward with your retirement planning, you're already retired, you're a pre-retiree, you're getting ready to retire. These 6 clear benefits have you in a position that you've done comprehensive planning. You want to get the full financial picture. Number 1, build the confidence. Number 2, in those decisions, right? Give yourself permission. Number 3, to enjoy the spending, right? Move in peace when the market is volatile. Number 4, each year you got to have an annual checkup. This needs to be reviewed. Number 5, on an annual basis. And then finally, you want to avoid, these major financial surprises. Okay. You want to have already prepared for them before the big ticket big deal shows up, the big surprise shows up, you want to have already had a comprehensive financial plan in place. So if you could use some help taking control of your hard-earned retirement savings, and you want someone to give you a second opinion or work with you, from the start, give us a call, 301-242-3950. Go to our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. We also have a free download there. Okay. We call it a retirement income for life survival kit. All you have to do is enter in your name, email, and we will send it to you absolutely free. You can walk through all of the modules on your own time. That's our retirement income for life survival kit right at our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. Why might you not want to do your financial planning on your own? Why might you not want to do this yourself? Okay, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so professional guidance adds value. Would you agree with me that professionals in your life are here to help guide you? Okay, one thing that they do, and I'll give you 3 real quick. One thing that professional guidance offers you is objective insights. Okay, finances can be emotional. Okay, you need professional planners to take the emotion out of it. You need those that are objective around you, fact-based advice, right? When the market is fluctuating and you're faced with these tough financial decisions, you need somebody that can bring their expertise, bring their knowledge, their time of doing this over and over, so that you don't get emotionally attached to something that's subjective, but rather you have an objective opinion, of a second opinion of somebody that has your best interests, at heart. Number 2, you want to tailor your strategies for your unique goals. Your financial planning goals are unique to you. Okay. Your coworker, your neighbor, your friends, your family, your plan should be unique to you. It should look like, if you're single, it should just look like you. If it's you and your spouse, then you all should get together, put together a plan to make sure that the financial needs that are unique to you are customized. This needs to be a plan that's customized professionally to cover the goals for, even things like estate planning that we mention all the time, minimizing taxes, optimizing your retirement accounts. Your plan should be tailored specifically for you with objective insight. And then number 3, regular adjustments, annual audits, constant reviews, regular adjustments as life changes has to be a part of your ongoing plan as well. This is not something that's static. It's not something that you do one time and forget. Life changes, so your financial planning has to change. You might get married. You might receive an inheritance. Hey, I'm starting a new business in retirement. A good financial professional can help adjust plans and provide strategies for each one of these milestones. Okay, so get objective insight, tailor the strategies to be unique for you, and then make sure as life changes, you are doing those at least yearly regular audits. Okay. As we talk through these retirement insights and all the different things that I've mentioned today, I want you to also keep this in mind that statistically, the studies find that over the long term, there is a payoff with working with financial advisors and financial planners. There's a long-term payoff of working with professionals. Okay. And so in 2023, the FPSB did a study, and they found that 87% of their clients working with a financial professional reported feeling financially secure with similar higher percentages reporting better mental health and increased financial satisfaction. Let me say that again. A 2023 financial planning SB study found that 87% of clients working with financial professionals reported feeling financially secure with similar higher percentages reporting better mental health and increased financial or family satisfaction. Okay, financial and family satisfaction, right? And the cost versus the benefit. Okay, while some view financial planning as an extra cost, 88% of people polled said the value they received from working with a professional outweighed any expenses. Okay, so doing it yourself is gonna have drawbacks. Okay, this is what all the statistics are saying. You know, the cost is definitely gonna the benefits are gonna definitely outweigh the cost. And so financial professionals, listen closely. Financial professionals provide a level of guidance that's hard to replicate independently. You trying to do it on your own when you have not studied financial planning, right? Without professional help, you could miss out on a lot of tax saving strategies, okay? You could be underutilizing the retirement tools you have at your disposal, but you just don't know how to use them, right? And finally, you can take on risk that doesn't align with your needs. Okay, we just mentioned sequence of returns risk is killing a lot of 401k portfolios when people retire. Those first few years, you've studied or you've saved 30 plus years, and then now your entire portfolio is gone in 6 or 7 years. We don't want that. We want that risk off the table. And we want to make sure that you know that, hey, there are benefits for doing financial planning with a professional, right? And as you trust in this process, okay, as you trust the statistics that we have mentioned, 98%, listen to this, 98% clients trust their financial planner to act in their best interest. Okay, once you've started going through this process, you found someone that you can trust, you recognize that they have your best interest at heart. 98, so that's 98 out of 100 people feel that confident with their financial planner. So this is statistics coming from the FPSB survey. You can go on their website, fpsb.org, for some of this backing up some of these statistics, but you want to make sure you're in position to have these results that they've surveyed. Okay, here's another one: quality of life enhancements, right? If you're working with a financial planning, right, it's not only about money. Okay, the planning fosters financial stability, translates into overall life satisfaction. So it's a holistic package that you can receive when you're working with an advisor, and you have peace of mind going into retirement. You know, you're going to feel more confident and resilient. We've mentioned that 73% of people surveyed said they feel, more resilient, more, comfortable. They feel more confident, right? That, your debt is lower, your savings is higher, right? People with written financial plans are better positioned to save for retirement and reduce debt. Okay. This, is statistically proven that when you're building these consistent, achievable goals, you will reach them with more peace, and you'll reach them a lot faster as you have an advisor working with you. Also, your income levels, right? Those with, even if you have lower income, if you have a planner working with you and they're able to work with you with your family's lifestyle, those social connections, the satisfaction that you have on your job, compared to those who don't have these plans in place, the statistics are just over and over proving that working with an advisor can always give you more confidence, more resilience, more peace of mind as you move towards retirement. So does financial planning sound too complex to tackle alone? Ask yourself that question. Is financial planning too complex to handle alone, or you want to do it yourself? Okay. If you're saying, hey, it's a little complex, well, let us help you simplify it. Okay. We're here. This is what we do on a daily basis. We'll help you simplify it, map it out, 100% free consultation. Give me a call, 301-242-3950, or also our website, Retirement Income, the number 4, LIFE.com. So we look forward to helping you. Let us know how we can help with any of these strategies that you are working on today. So let's jump into another subject, as this is something that hits retirees in ways that it's no way you could forecast unless you had already comprehensively planned it out before this was to happen. So what happens to the widow if a managing spouse passes? So think about this. Okay. What would happen if your spouse passed and he or she is the one that's self-managing all the assets? You have no idea what's going on. Okay. He or she is doing all of the planning. That immediately puts you in a financially vulnerable position. Okay. When one spouse handles all the finances, the surviving spouse, listen carefully, may feel very, very overwhelmed when they're left to manage this all alone. Okay. Not having a clear picture of financial accounts. We don't, that spouse doesn't know where the investments are. Don't even probably know what the monthly budget is, right? This is going to lead to hasty decisions, quick decisions, emotional decisions, and I can guarantee you some mistakes are going to be made, right? There's so much importance on making sure there's financial transparency in the home. As we've mentioned it before, working with a financial advisor, creating this plan so that even if one of you is the one doing all the managing, at least the other one knows where to find everything, or at least the other one knows how, what would happen if something was to happen to you. Okay, that transparency is of the utmost importance. So couples should aim to discuss financial basics, including all accounts, all the investment strategies, and where to locate these important documents. Okay. Where are the documents that should also be periodically reviewed together, right? So that both parties feel confident. The one that's self-managing and the one that's not managing should know exactly what to do if something was to happen to the other one. Okay, so let me give you real quick 5 planning tips for couples. Okay, hopefully you're not doing it alone, but if you are, you gotta, number one, create a financial binder. There's gotta be a place that includes all the account numbers, all the passwords, key contacts. There has to be a roadmap where the assets are held. Both husband and wife should know exactly where this information is. And I would also go further to say a professional can assist you in organizing all this. Okay. So you got to have a financial binder. You got to know where all the records are, both of you, and have that somewhere that is easily accessible just in case this unexpected death was to happen. So number 2, schedule financial reviews. We've said this numerous times today, but each year you and your spouse should be doing a financial review with each other or with your professional, right? Monthly and quarterly check-ins are good too, right? You can set an appointment with us at any time during the year, but you have to meet with us at least once a year. We have to do a quality control audit because things are changing and both people need to be informed, right? It gives both parties a chance to ask questions and provide new clarity for the things that have happened in life over the last 12 months. All right. Number 3, here's a good exercise. Set up a financial date night. Okay. I know you go to the movies and out to dinner and all that good stuff, but how about a financial date night, right? Make finances less daunting, right? I don't want to deal with that. No, set aside time, right? Each month for the two of you to go on a date, maybe a staycation, right? Review the accounts, do some savings goals. What investments, do you have, together, do it in a relaxed setting, you and you know how you like to date. So set it up around going over financial planning, especially if both of you are getting ready to retire. If one of you already is retired or planning to retire, you're getting older. We must get these planning tools in place, as you approach retirement or as you're getting older. Okay. It is not promised that we're going to live forever, and we don't need the surprise to show up. And then now one spouse is financially vulnerable. All right. Number 4, let's document your financial plan B. Right. I know you've laid out your, plan A. This is what retirement's going to look like. Right. But what about plan B? And we even mentioned plan C. So outline backup plans. Just in case the plan A income plan didn't work, map out your backup plan, right? Your budget backup plan, right? The investments if one partner becomes unable to manage the finances. Okay. What if one partner can't do it anymore, right? You got to have a plan B for how you take over, right? These things happen every day. And so we must have plans in place that are at least a second layer, part B, hopefully even part C. All right. And number 5, you want to list key contacts in one place. Okay. Keep a shared list of essential contacts, including your financial professional or insurance agents, an attorney or bank representatives, your CPA, all of these numbers and contacts, should be in a place so either spouse can quickly reach out if needed. Okay. Now, if this is sounding like a problem, okay, if this is sounding, too overwhelming, let us help you create that financial binder, let us help you put your review dates in place, let us give you some recommendations on your own financial, planning dates, right? And definitely a part B, a part C, and getting all those contacts in one place. Give us a call. We can help you put that together today. 301-242-3950. Our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. All right. So finally, what if we just laid out for you? And you may even be wondering today, what if, am I really ready for retirement? Okay. Ask yourself that question. You think you are, but do you really know? Okay. Do you really know if you are ready for retirement? And have you talked to people about it? Have you laid it out? Right. If you've been listening to this show and asking yourself whether your retirement plan is on the right track, we love the opportunity for you to find out. Okay. We love to show you what we've been doing all these 3 decades, helping people, lay this out, start from the beginning, audit what you already have, bring your spouse to the table that is uninformed, all these different things. It always starts with a conversation. Okay. That the first part of retirement readiness and planning starts with a conversation. Okay. Before we talk about investments or strategies, we want to understand your goals, right? What are your priorities? What are your goals? What does your retirement look like? What is your dream retirement? Okay. You deserve to be able to think through, write down what your dream retirement looks like. Discuss that. Let's answer questions about that, concerns you might have about your financial future. Okay. You don't want your retirement to be a nightmare. Okay. You want to live that dream. And, so it starts with that conversation. Okay. The conversation then moves to a comprehensive look of what you have. What have you accumulated? What have you and your spouse accumulated? What retirement accounts do you have? What investments do you have? How are your income sources going to look when you hit retirement? What's your tax picture look like? Are you going to be in the same tax bracket in retirement, or is it going lower? Is it going higher? What do your taxes look like? Do you have enough life insurance? Okay. And do you have the overall strategies mapped out, all pieced together, all fit together? We take a comprehensive look at that during that conversation. And then from there, we're going to be able to identify your strengths, where you're strong, where there's some gaps that need to be filled, the opportunities that need to be addressed, so that there can be more ways, to improve the efficiency in your taxes or reducing unnecessary risks like the sequence of returns risk, right? How can we increase your retirement income and strengthen any other parts of your plan? We help you understand where adjustments can make a meaningful difference. Okay, from there, now you need a strategy. Okay, we got to map out a strategy around those goals, around filling those gaps and opportunities. That comprehensive look now needs to be built. And so rather than offering a one size fits all solution, we'll outline recommendations that reflect your unique circumstances and all of your long-term objectives. Okay. Now, once we get to that point, once we've laid that out, now we need a retirement income for life plan. Okay. Now we help you prepare for that retirement income. Okay. The most important thing in retirement is not assets, not net worth. It's where is the income coming from every single month to make sure I do not go back to work. That's for retirement. Okay. So saving for retirement is only part of that journey, right? We focus on creating a dependable income strategy. It is designed to help support your lifestyle, that dream lifestyle that you have mapped out, right? If that dream is going to be a reality, it's got to be funded. Okay, that money has to come to fulfill the dream that you've laid out in retirement. And so from there, we lay out that plan, providing, no pressure. All of this is 100% complimentary. We provide those answers for you, package, the opportunities and your goals, your strategies, put all that together as you're asking questions, exploring, your options, and as you move towards confidence and clarity and, the straightforward guidance, without any obligation or high pressure sales tactics is what is necessary for someone to have a comprehensive financial plan. So when that time is right, will help you move forward. You must take action once all of that has been put in place. And so the end result is that you should have a well-designed retirement plan. Okay. And, once it's put in place and you've acted upon it, now your goals turn into a reality. Okay. And sometimes all it takes is that conversation. The first part of what I described allows you to gain clear understanding of where you stand and what steps may help you move forward with that greater confidence. Start it with a conversation. Start it with a conversation today, 301-242-3950, or go to our website, retirementincomethenumber4life.com. Okay. And so as we've also been mentioning, we had mentioned, both spouses need to be on one page. The other thing to mention as we close today is your scheduled retirement doesn't always happen exactly when you think it's going to happen. Okay. Many Americans today are being forced to retire and it's not even planned. Okay. It's a big surprise. Recent research is showing us the gap between expectation and reality is widening. Okay. Current workers expect to retire around age 62, right, on average, but today's retirees are leaving the workforce 5-6 years later than that. All right. Or even sometimes 5 or 6 years earlier than that. What if you had to retire early? So instead of retiring at 62, you retired at 57. Why? Because of health problems. Okay. People everybody's not healthy today. Okay. And people are getting sick younger. Number two, what if you got laid off? Okay. What if that unexpected pink slip showed up or someone tapped you on the shoulder and said today was your last day? Unexpectedly, you're now being forced to retire. What if you have to be a caregiver for a spouse or a parent? Those responsibilities can have you having to leave the job. Life events can show up and you may be retiring earlier, you may be retiring later, right? But it almost always, when you're surprised, the retirement arrives when you're not financially ready. Okay. When you're not financially ready. Right. And that creates, challenges, and, now you're not only young, but you don't have the retirement savings that you need. Okay. You don't have the income that you need to keep saving, for that retirement that you had planned on retiring 4 or 5 years later, right? This retirement early, okay, earlier than expected, can create two financial problems at the same time. Okay. First, you lose valuable earning years when you could have continued saving and investing. Second, your retirement savings now has to last you longer because you're spending more time in retirement. So you weren't able to accumulate as much, but now this needs to last longer. Okay. So think about it. If someone retires 3, even 5 or 10 years earlier than they planned, okay, they may face additional challenges like paying for health insurance and you're well before Medicare begins at 65 now, and so, and you've got to delay, your expectations for Social Security because that doesn't start until 62, right? And so now you are more dependent on that savings, that 401k that you hadn't accumulated the way that you wanted it to. And now you're having to tap into it sooner than expected, right? And those extra years can put significant pressure on even a well-built retirement plan. Okay, you could have, constructed it for perfection, but it just wasn't enough to last the market volatility, cost of living and inflation, and the withdrawals that you have to take on a balance that you did not expect to be that low when you started pulling it out. So one of the unexpected things that show up for, early retirees, and one of the, biggest regrets that people are having today is they didn't start saving earlier. So you might be listening, to me in your 20s, 30s, 40s right now. You've got to start saving. You've got to be aggressively about this. We have no idea when it might show up on us out of the blue. So the survey also found that many retirees wish they had approached retirement differently. Roughly 3 out of 4 said they regret not starting to save earlier, and nearly the same percentage wish they had simply saved more while they were working. Right now, the encouraging news is that if you're still working, okay, this surprise didn't happen to you, okay, you can do something about it, okay? And one thing you can do is make sure you're contributing to your retirement plan. Make sure you're getting all the free money, the matching, right? If you're over 50, you can contribute more, and you can do the catch up. Okay, your contributions over a 5-10 year period can make a meaningful difference, much more than I'm sure you would have thought that this could do. So make sure you are taking into consideration all the possibilities that could happen. We never know what might happen. We need that flexibility as you put this retirement plan in place. And since none of us knows exactly when retirement will begin, one of the smartest things you can do is build flexibility into your financial strategy. That means maintaining an emergency fund. Let's review. That means avoiding unnecessary debts as you approach retirement. It means having multiple potential income sources instead of relying on just one account or one plan. Okay, what are the streams of income that are going to complement the money you withdraw from a 401k or TSP or retirement plan, right? If your plan can survive, the scenarios that we've talked about and we've laid out here, you're going to be in a lot stronger shape regardless of what pivots have to be made. No matter what comes your way, if you've put the flexibility in place, you're going to be a lot stronger for these unexpected, unnecessary, things that show up that you had no idea they were going to show up. So finally, this is the bottom line. Retirement isn't always a choice you get to make on your own time. Health, family, the workplace changes can alter your plans in an instant. The goal isn't to predict exactly what will happen. It's to prepare for enough possibilities that you're ready if life takes an unexpected turn. Okay, we never know what might happen. A flexible retirement income plan can help you adapt with confidence instead of feeling forced into difficult financial decisions during an already stressful time. So now's a good time, okay, as we wrap up today. Now is a good time, okay, that you make sure your retirement plan can handle the unexpected. Okay. We'd be happy to help you, build a retirement strategy. We want to make sure it's designed to weather all of life's surprises. We are not just hoping for the best case scenario where the market just takes off every single year. We know that's not going to happen every year. And so we want to help you with all of these areas. Each and every day, this is what we're doing in my office, helping you with the flexibility, trying to take the regrets off of the table. Early retirement can be forced upon you, but even if it isn't, you pre-retiree, you retired individual right now listening to me, or you who are getting ready to retire, set up a free consultation with us. Let us help you. Let us come alongside you and help you build your plan. Right here today in Greenbelt, Maryland, 301-242-3950. Go to our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. Download that free resource, our Retirement Income for Life Survival Kit. We look forward to helping you with all your retirement planning needs.